Tonight, you will hear from admissions advisors and students, and you'll be able to submit questions in the chat that we will be able to answer after our student panel. We will begin with an admissions presentation from the Assistant Director of Admissions, Ms. Tammy McCants.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Howard University Experience. We're delighted to be with you this evening to share information with you about Howard University, our admission process, our fantastic programs, and you will get the opportunity also to hear directly from some of our incredible students. Dre, we're ready when you are.
Hello students, I'm Wayne Frederick, the president here at Howard University, one of our nation's preeminent historically black colleges and universities, and a premier undergraduate educational institution. I want to commend you for taking time to attend today's college fair to learn and factor how the colleges you choose reflect your passions as well as your future aspirations. Howard sits atop one of the highest elevations here in Washington, D.C. Even when we are conducting classes virtually, our students still affectionately refer to campus and our institution as the Mecca or the Hilltop. From this perch within our nation's capital, we have empowered our students to see the world as it is and prepare them to go out and change it for the better. Howard has a long historic legacy and an even brighter future. From esteemed alum like Justice Thurgood Marshall and Senator Kamala Harris, to Toni Morrison and Chadwick Boseman, we provide our students with a world-class education and instill within them the confidence to become leaders in their chosen fields. There's a reason we are ranked number 80 among the best national universities by U.S. News and World Report. We have moved some 65 spots in just the past 6 years alone, and with record-setting enrollment numbers this year, we are poised to climb even higher. I hope you consider coming to Howard University. We want you to be a part of our journey, and most importantly, we very much want to be a part of yours. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you here at the Mecca.
Howard University was founded on March 2nd, 1867. And over the past 154 years, the university's achievements and accolades have continually grown. We have over 86,000 living alumni around the world. We have conferred over 130,000 degrees and certificates. We are the #1 producer of African Americans that earn degrees in communications and journalism. To date, we have produced over 110 scholars. We're the leading producer of African Americans that go on to medical school in the United States, and our School of Business is ranked #1 by the Princeton Review as having the greatest opportunity for minority students. Recently, U.S. News and World Reports released its rankings for colleges and universities. We have risen to position number 80, a distinction that we are very proud of, as there are over 3,000 degree-granting institutions. On your screen are some of our recognizable alumni. With us having as many alumni as we do, it's hard to go anywhere and not run into a Howard person. We are very fortunate to have a supportive and engaged alumni community. And I'd like to take this opportunity to once again congratulate our very own Vice President Kamala Harris on being the first woman and the first person of color elected to this prestigious office. Let's hear from some of our alumni.
Hi, I'm Sean Harvey Roberson.
And I'm Eric Roberson.
And I graduated from Howard in 1998 from the School of Engineering.
I graduated in 97, School of Fine Arts.
Now, we didn't know each other while we were at Howard
Nope.
at the time. We actually met through a good friend of ours that went to Howard after. He didn't have the pleasure of knowing me on campus.
Thank God I didn't meet her then.
But we're together now.
That's right.
We have 3 beautiful kids. How did Howard impact me? Howard was an amazing, amazing experience that I cherish to this day. My best friends are from Howard. His best friends are from Howard. And we learned a lot. We partied a lot. We had a great time.
Why you say party so low?
I'm sorry.
Partied a lot. We partied.
Because we don't want to encourage that. Academics first. But we had an amazing, amazing experience where our professors really, really cared about us. And they kind of felt like our aunts and uncles, like being taught by your aunts and uncles. I'll say to this day, no matter where we go in the world,
South Africa, London, everywhere. We can't go
there right now. Yeah. But when we were able to go places in the world, we always found Howard family. The Howard Network, the Howard Alumni Network is so strong. And it's just great to be part of such an amazing Howard family.
What I would say is when I network, when I'm working on business, when I'm creating, I'm still creating with the same people that I met my freshman year, my sophomore year, junior, and senior year. We were all sitting in those dorm rooms trying to chase our dreams, trying to discover ourselves, and it's been an honor and a pleasure watching my friends find their dreams and me find my dream as well. So in short, go to Howard.
There's no place like it. It's the most incredible, incredible experience, the most rewarding experience of my life, outside of being married to this man.
Hey, H-U.
You know.
We have an incredible student population. And even though we're an HBCU, we are a diverse community. Every year, we welcome students into the Howard University family from across the country and around the world. One of our students from Nigeria says she never thought she would find her home away from home until coming to Howard, making friends, taking classes, and joining clubs. Another student says that she feels she's finally able to embrace her Afro-Latina background, knowing that she's surrounded by Black excellence. Howard University truly is the melting pot of the diaspora. In our 13 schools and colleges, our total enrollment exceeds 10,000. We have 7 graduate and professional schools with about 3,000 students enrolled, and 6 undergraduate schools and colleges with about 7,000 students enrolled. This year's entering freshman class was very representative of the diversity that I mentioned. We had students join the Howard University family this past August from 50 US states and territories and 21 different countries. Not only was this class diverse, but very well prepared for the academic rigors of Howard University. The average SAT and ACT scores for our entering freshman class are at the top of your screen. And so that you can see how our freshman class compare with other African Americans that tested at the same time, those averages are listed beneath. In addition to having impressive standardized test scores, the average GPA for this class was a 3.60. That's unweighted on a 4.0 scale. If your school system does not grade on a 4.0 scale, we will recalculate your GPA, and we do give extra consideration for AP, honors, and IB curricula. We have a dynamic faculty body at the university. We have over 1,300 faculty members, and 98% of our faculty hold terminal degrees in their area of discipline. I invite you to look at our website for the faculty profiles on the majors that you're interested in, so that you can get a better understanding of the expertise that our faculty bring into the classroom. We have a variety of partnerships and collaborations with companies and organizations around the world. One of our newest partnerships is with Amazon Studios. For our students that are in programs in our School of Business, Law, Communications, and Division of Fine Arts that are accepted into this program, they spend an immersive 2-semester experience at Amazon's Los Angeles headquarters, shadowing professionals in those careers that they aspire to while taking classes towards graduation. This program is preparing the next generation of Hollywood's cast, crew, and executives of color.
Hi, my name is Amaka Corey.
My name is Jasmine Oshiemi.
My name is John Felder Washington.
Hi, I am Jade Madison Scott.
大家好，我是孙晶。
And I am a part of the Howard Entertainment Program.
Excited, not just what it's going to do for Amazon Studios, but what it's going to do for the entire industry. It's about putting these students in the seats where they have the ability to make green light decisions about what projects come into your home, on your television, and on your screens in the movie theater. So we're excited about that.
Amazon Studios will be our anchoring partner in Hollywood. Our students from 4 different schools and programs are going to get the opportunity to go out to Hollywood and engage in industry with our anchoring partner.
This is where I wanna be, nah, nah, nah. Never ever gonna leave, nah, nah, nah. You ain't gonna get it from me. I'm like, nah, 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 nah.
We're so excited because today we announced Howard Entertainment, which is a program that partners Howard Entertainment and Amazon Studio.
We don't have a lot of opportunities as young Black people to be taught how to be in executive positions when it comes to film business and everything. Actually learn how to be the person closing the deals, signing the checks. That's big. That's big.
Hi, my name is Zakia Fleming. I'm a junior honors marketing major, Spanish minor with a concentration in entrepreneurship from Dallas, Texas, and I am a part of the first Howard Entertainment Program cohort. This has really helped me solidify my vision and make my big, lofty dreams and goals so much more tangible.
This is where I wanna stay, nah, nah, nah. I could do this every day, nah, nah, nah. It don't matter what they say. I'm like, nah, 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 nah.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Longley, and I am now a third-year law student at Howard University School of Law. My most memorable experience so far has been going to the Hunters Activation event with my team, classmates, and other Amazonians. I just think it was a really fun way to get to know my team better and meet other Amazonians that I wouldn't necessarily come across in the office.
My favorite experience so far was actually visiting the set of Them Covenant and hearing from the cast and crew on such a large-scale serialized production. That was truly incredible in so many different ways.
I had room to play and I had room to experiment with ideas that I didn't know if they were going to work or not because I trusted these people around me to all be there helping me make the best story possible.
My most memorable experience was probably the pitch competition. I got first place, which was really fun. Just the experience of developing a story and to have people giving me genuine feedback about my story and ways to modify it to make it as good as it could be.
We started the program really thinking about how an immersive program like this would impact students. And what we really came to appreciate was the impact that you students would have on us. This is truly a partnership we value, and we consider you part of the Amazon family.
The Howard Entertainment Program was really a once-in-a-lifetime experience for me.
Transformative, enchanting, and reaffirming.
Unforgettable experience.
I'm excited to continue learning more about the industry and finding my place.
I've learned from so many different professionals across disciplines in this industry, and that wisdom has truly been invaluable.
This has never been done before, so lay the foundation for the students that come after you. And so I want to be able to impart how much they belong, how much they're needed, how much space there is for them in this industry.
The next program that I'd like to share with you this evening is our Karsh STEM Scholars Program for high-achieving students that are interested in science, technology, engineering, or math majors, and that have a commitment to earning a PhD and conducting research. This could be the ideal program for you. There's scholarship funding available through your terminal degree, a summer bridge program for new entrants, and a plethora of opportunities for travel and internships. In each of our 6 undergraduate schools and colleges, students have the opportunity to gain practical, hands-on experience in their field right on our campus. The College of Arts and Sciences is the oldest and largest of the 6. For students in our Division of Fine Arts, we have 3 art galleries and 2 theaters where student art exhibits and performances are held each semester. For students in our science programs, we have an interdisciplinary research building. This building provides our students with the resources and space needed to engage in research. Every student that enters our School of Business is assigned a mentor from a Fortune 500 company. Often these relationships result in internships while you're a student and employment after graduation. For students in our Kathy Hughes School of Communications, we have a student-run radio station, a commercial FM radio station, and a television station. For our nursing and allied health science majors, they have access to our Student Health Center, our Counseling Center, and the Howard University Hospital. For our education majors, we have a preschool on campus and a middle school for science and technology. And for students in our College of Engineering and Architecture, we have a state-of-the-art makerspace. This space allows our students to experiment and utilize cutting-edge technologies in engineering and architecture. Another partnership that we have that we're very proud of is with Google. Because we know that people of color are underrepresented in technology fields, we've partnered with Google, and we now have a campus at Google's Silicon Valley headquarters. For our students that are computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, or information system majors, they spend a portion of their junior year at our Howard West campus, working alongside Googlers and being instructed by faculty from Stanford University that we've collaborated with to ensure that our students stay on track for graduation. This program has grown exponentially since its inception, and we've been able to make this opportunity available to other students at selected HBCUs. Let's hear from our first cohort of students at our Howard West campus.
In the tech world today, African Americans make up only 1% of the workforce. With so few opportunities available and the demand for skilled workers growing daily, Google and Howard University teamed up to tackle this problem head-on.
I first heard about the Howard West program. It was really announced out of nowhere. It was a shock for everyone.
I honestly thought it was a great opportunity when I first heard about it. I thought it was really cool, and I thought it was something I was definitely interested, especially since I'd never gotten to come out to Tech Valley.
I thought it would be really cool, just the idea that we could possibly be taking classes on Google's campus. It's kind of like the best when you think of technology companies.
I was really excited to come here. It's Google, you know, this is the real deal. This is Silicon Valley. If you're into computer science, this is where you want to be. To say I was hyped would be an understatement.
My initial thought was, oh,
you're going to be in California, you're going to be on Google campus, right? But I didn't know what to expect because this is the first time.
The first week I would say was kind of overwhelming. So we were introduced to, really challenging subjects, and we were introduced to so many people all at the same time.
I felt like my excitement level for this program was like really high. I was just excited to go back to the West Coast. This is like my second time ever. And like being at Google at that, which is amazing.
I'd never been to California before this program, so I really didn't know what to expect. I heard a lot about California, but I was really excited to see kind of the Bay Area, what it was actually like out here, whether stereotypes were true, and I was just honestly really excited to be able to come to Google and to see Google for myself. So I thought it'd be a really cool way to see Googlers at work and kind of get a feel for what the work environment that I could potentially be going into would look like.
This program is mainly about immersing in the Silicon Valley's tech culture for the aspiring software engineers. The classes we took, the people we met, those are all very much related to our career goals.
I'd say it prepared us very well. Their goals were to give us the skills and resources to compete with various engineers that are trying to get these positions.
So many times when you're learning something in class, you're kind of like, okay, when am I ever going to use this? But here that question is constantly answered while you're learning it. This is when you're going to use it. In fact, here's an opportunity to use it right now.
For myself and my classmates, if you want to stay in this field, I believe it prepares you not just for becoming a software engineer, but also, if you want to go straight into masters.
When we first set foot in this campus, a lot of students had feelings of not belonging. We kind of got the impression that the Googlers didn't expect to see us here. And in some ways, we kind of didn't expect to see ourselves here. I honestly believe that Howard West is a shining example. I believe that even though it's a small step, it's a step in the right direction. Howard West is a huge success, and I can't wait to tell my friends and family back at Howard University. Howard West is revolutionary.
Howard West brings the best out of you.
Howard West is a one-of-a-kind opportunity.
The top 5 majors that students apply to are listed on your screen. Admission to the university is very competitive, and we are highly selective. It is our goal every year in the admissions office to offer admission to the best and brightest students from that year's graduating class and welcome new members into our family to uphold our legacy of excellence. I'll talk more about our admission process in just a moment. The 7 graduate and professional schools that we have are listed now. For our undergraduate students that aspire to go on to graduate and professional study, our Office of Pre-Professional Studies assists students by ensuring that they are enrolled in the appropriate academic coursework, that they have opportunities to network with other colleges and universities, and that they have assistance in preparing for entrance exams like the MCAT and LSAT. With us having as many graduate and professional offerings as we do, quite a few of our undergraduate students choose Howard University for their next level of education. Another benefit to having so many graduate and professional options is our ability to offer accelerated degree programs. Those students that wish to become a dentist or a medical doctor, our BS, DDS, and BSMD programs allow you to complete your undergraduate degree in 2 years and your dental or medical degree in 4 years. For those that aspire to careers in law, our BA-JD program allows you to complete your undergraduate degree in 3 years and your law degree in 3 years. Our speech language pathology, architecture, and partnership between human development and social work all allow students to enter the university as a freshman and graduate in 5 years with a master's degree. All of our accelerated degree programs have additional admission requirements. Please refer to our website for more details. The educational opportunities for students outside of the classroom can really be exciting. Through our Ralph Bunche Center for International Affairs and other programs and initiatives that we offer, over 60% of Howard University students travel outside of the United States at least once to study abroad, for cultural immersion, for internships, or for service.
This is me on my spring break in Thailand. Let's rewind a bit so you all can learn a little bit more about my experience abroad. Well, for starters, let me introduce myself. I'm Jade Williams. I'm a graphic design major at Howard University. And I also do fashion blogging, and I'm an artist, and I'm a freelance model. I kind of do a lot. When I told people I was going to the UAE, I got mixed reactions. Some people immediately told me, be safe, it might be dangerous over there. Or, be safe, you're American, you know what's going on. Then there were people who told me I would have the time of my life and I'd fall in love. And they were right, I did. I chose the Middle East during an interesting time in America. Black students only account for 5% of students studying abroad. But I felt like I needed to break cultural norms. I wanted to show people who looked like me that they can study abroad and they can have the most fulfilling experience ever. Just like I did. I made a new home. I made lifetime friends. I even got to travel to places where I never thought I would be able to travel. I got connected with my African culture. I got connected with fashion and modeling. And I never knew in a million years I would be able to do this in another country. I found out a lot about myself. I found out things about myself that I never knew that I could accomplish, things that I learned. What an experience, what a journey. Now it's your turn. Thank you, New York Times, for giving me this opportunity to share my experience and show people, especially people who look like me, that this experience is possible.
Howard University's motto is truth and service, and no program speaks to the university's commitment to service like our Alternative Spring Break program. Every year when other students are preparing to relax and have fun, upwards of 1,000 Howard University students travel to communities across the country and around the world to make a difference in the lives of others. We partner with organizations within those communities to identify specific initiatives that we can impact over the week that we're there. And to date, we have committed over 100,000 hours of service. Let's hear from another one of our alumni about her alternative spring break experiences.
Hey y'all, my name is Madison Keller, and I am a Howard University alumna from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I can confidently say that one of the best programs at Howard is the Alternative Spring Break program. For it to be completely free, including travel expenses, where we stayed, our food, it's something that makes the program that much better because you don't have to worry about the financial burden when trying to give back. Also, it helps you bond with people at Howard. So you go with other Howard students, you have these life-changing experiences, and then you get back to campus and y'all are all really close and can bond over these memories that you have together. So that's another aspect that makes it really great. So I think that I really appreciated that aspect, the financial aspect of it, and just being able to give back for a week. Howard's motto is in truth and service. And so a lot of our students really love to embody the service aspect. So the first year I went to Beaumont, Texas, and we helped with Hurricane Harvey relief. And that was really touching to me because I remember what my family went through for Hurricane Katrina, and giving back, helping tear down their houses, helping just play with the children while they were busy organizing their things inside of their house was something that I knew was really important to them and they really appreciated. The second year I went to Puerto Rico and helped with Hurricane Maria relief efforts, and we painted a school inside and out. We taught the kids English, we played with the kids. So another really, really rewarding experience in a new environment in Puerto Rico. All of us had never been there before, so we also got to explore a different culture, a different area, and see what ways we could best help them. So it's a really, really rewarding experience, and I encourage everyone to participate in it if you come to Howard.
We encourage all students to have at least one internship while you're with us. And depending on your major, an internship may be a requirement for graduation. Our Office of Career Services hosts an internship and career fair each semester to connect our students with potential opportunities. Internship and career fairs are also held within each school and college and are open to the entire student body. Additionally, we utilize a platform called Handshake. It works very much like Facebook or LinkedIn and gives companies and organizations direct access to our very talented pool of students. We have a rich, robust campus life, and we guarantee housing for every entering freshman. There are 2 housing options available for entering students: communal style and suite style. Our communal style female residence hall is the Harriet Tubman Quadrangle, and our male communal residence hall is Charles R. Drew Hall. Our suite style female residence hall is College Hall North, and our communal style is and our male suite style is George W. Cook Hall. All of our residence halls have programs and initiatives that our Office of Residence Life implement to help new students get acclimated to our campus, get to know each other, and to create a bond during their first year that they are on campus. We are a Division I institution. We offer 21 sports. If you're a student athlete and you're interested in any of our sports, we want you to contact the recruiter for that sport. Recruiter's contact information is on the athletics webpage. We have over 200 clubs and organizations on campus, and 5 of the Divine 9 were founded at Howard University. Listed on the screen are some of the other popular clubs and organizations that our students join. What's important to know is that if we don't have a club to support your interests or your passions, you can start your own club on campus through our Office of Student Life and Activities. No HBCU experience is complete without the marching band, and Howard University is proud to be the home of the award-winning Showtime Marching Band. If you are an instrumentalist or interested in being a part of our flashy flag girls or the ooh la la dancers, the audition requirements can be found at notecloudnetwork.com. Homecoming at Howard University is an experience like nothing else on earth. This past October, we celebrated virtually, but every other October, thousands of our alumni, their families, and our friends converge on Washington, D.C. to reconnect with classmates, connect with our current students, and celebrate the Howard experience. From the day of service to the fashion show, the step show, yard fest, tailgating, the football game, the parade, and all of the other many activities that occur over the course of our homecoming week. It is truly a celebration of Black excellence at its very best. We've been on the same hilltop in Washington, D.C. for over 150 years, so there's a lot of history woven into our campus. Two of our buildings that are designated as National Historic Landmarks are Founders Library and Andrew Rankin Memorial Chapel. We're also very proud to have the Howard University Hospital as a part of our portfolio. The hospital has been in the community for over 145 years, and it is the nation's only teaching hospital that's located on the campus of an HBCU. The hospital has been instrumental in providing care and service to the citizens of Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area during this pandemic. We also have a radio and television station of our very own. Our radio station, WHUR, was founded in 1971 and was the first Black-owned radio station in this area. Our television station, WHUT, was founded in 1980, and it is the only Black-owned and operated non-commercial station in the United States. We have a newly renovated gymnasium. It includes 3 fitness facilities and an Olympic-sized pool. You really couldn't go to school in a better city than Washington, D.C. Important, exciting things happen here every day, and we're in the center of it all. Our students find that the city becomes an extension of the classroom. Moving around the city using Uber or Lyft is relatively inexpensive, but we have a safe and reliable public transportation system and a free shuttle service for our students. And Washington really is a college town. We have some of the best institutions in the country as our neighbors. And we're all members of the Consortium of Colleges and Universities. This gives our students access to schools like Georgetown University, George Washington University, and American University, just to name a few. So what does it take to become a Bison and take advantage of all of the incredible opportunities that Howard University and Washington, D.C. have to offer? Well, it all starts with the application process. We are Common App exclusive, and for freshman applicants, the application is available in Common App every year in August. There are 2 application deadlines to choose from. The first deadline is November 1st. This deadline gives you the option of early action, which allows you to consider offers of admission from other institutions, and early decision, which is binding. So if you select early decision and we offer you admission, it is with the understanding that you will withdraw applications that you have at any other school and that you'll be joining the Bison family the following fall. For students that apply by November 1st, We release decisions in mid-December. The second deadline is February 15th. For students that choose this deadline, we begin releasing decisions in early April and do so until all students have been notified. A complete freshman application includes the application that's found at commonapp.org. There's a $45 application fee, or if you're eligible, your counselor can submit a fee waiver on your behalf. There's an essay that's a part of the application, and we give you several essay prompts to choose from. Please select the prompt that's going to best allow us to get to know you. There's also an activities portion on the application. And on this portion, this is your opportunity to tell us what you've done beyond the classroom. We're very interested in knowing the type of person that you've been and the things that you've done to make your community a better place or to demonstrate your leadership potential. We want your high school counselor to upload your official transcript, and we ask for 2 letters of recommendation, one from a teacher and one from a counselor. You also have the option of submitting 1 additional recommendation. Because of the pandemic, for this admission cycle, we are test optional. If you can take the SAT or ACT, we strongly encourage you to do so. However, if you were unable to test, you will not be penalized for not submitting test scores for this admission cycle. If you run out of space on the activities portion and you have more to share with us about who you are, please upload your resume. And once you've submitted your application, you have the option of completing our supplemental essay. For students that choose early action or early decision and submit their application by November 1st, we must have your supplemental documents by November 15th. Those are the documents that you are not responsible for submitting with your application. So your transcripts, letters of recommendation, and test scores if you're submitting them. Please note that we do not accept test scores from individuals or test scores that are a part of your transcript. Test scores must be sent directly from ACT or College Board. For students that choose our regular decision option and submit their application by February 15th, you have until March 15th to ensure that your supplemental documents have been sent. For those students that attend another institution and wish to transfer to Howard University, you still complete the Common App application and submit the $45 fee. We need official transcripts from each school you've attended after high school. If you did dual enrollment in high school, we'll need your dual enrollment transcript, but we do not require high school transcripts or standardized test scores for transfer admission. There's a personal statement that allows you to tell us why you'd like to transfer to Howard University, and we require 1 letter of recommendation. The minimum requirements to be considered for transfer admission include a student having earned 15 transferable credits from a regionally accredited college or university. You must have a GPA of at least a 2.50, and you must have taken college level English and math and passed both of those courses with at least a C. For transfer students that wish to join us in the spring semester, the application deadline is October 31st. The document deadline is November 15th. For those that wish to join us in the fall, the application deadline is April 30th, and the document deadline is June 1st. The average cost to attend Howard University right now is about $43,000 a year. Your tuition and fees is a fixed cost, but your room and board charges can vary depending on the residence hall you live in, the number of roommates you have, and the meal plan you select. We are a private institution, and therefore we do not differentiate between in-state and out-of-state residency. All students are assessed the same charges. We do offer scholarships to our entering students through our band, our athletic programs, our ROTC programs, and the Karsh STEM Scholars Program. Financial awards are also offered based on need and merit. Need-based consideration takes into account the information that's on your FAFSA. The FAFSA is available every year on October 1st, and we encourage all students that are applying to Howard University to try to get your FAFSA in by November 1st or as soon as possible thereafter, regardless of which application deadline you select. Merit-based awards take into account the student's GPA and, if you provided test scores, your test score at the time of admission. Most financial aid packages are a combination of scholarships, grants, and loans, and we encourage all students to seek outside scholarship opportunities as well. You can follow us on these social media outlets, and you can reach us via email at admission@howard.edu. Until we can safely return to our beautiful campus and begin to do our in-person tours again, we encourage you to take a virtual tour to learn even more about Howard University, our very rich history, and all of the different programs that we offer. This concludes our formal presentation for this evening. At this time, we're going to conduct a student panel so that you can hear from our very talented group of students, their perspectives and experiences at Howard University. Kennedy?
Yes, thank you, Ms. McCann, for that presentation. And like Ms. McCann said, we will now have a student panel. Again, it's an opportunity for you to hear directly from current Howard University students and just basically get the inside scoop of what's going on. So before we get into the questions, I'm just gonna have all of our panelists introduce themselves and tell us why they chose Howard University. And the first panelist that we will begin with will be Alafia.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alafia Bailey. I'm a sophomore in psychology and African American studies double major from Houston, Texas. So the reason why I chose Howard University was like specifically HBCU, because I knew like the Black excellence and the love that HBCUs really like hold and held. And I know like my final two decisions were Howard and Morehouse, and Howard to give me a little bit like more money. Plus Howard was a really cool vibe, right? And then like once I noticed when I stepped on campus, it was cool to be Black and smart. I was like, yo, I gotta be in this space. You know what I'm saying? It was cool to dress up and go to class. It was cool to be the smartest kid on campus and be Black at the same time. And that's glorified at Howard University, specifically at HBCUs all over. So like just seeing it at Howard was like my go-to. So that's why I chose Howard.
Thank you. And Kaylin?
Hey everybody, so my name is Kaylin Coleman. I'm a sophomore fashion design major, advertising minor from Indianapolis, Indiana. Now I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I chose Howard because Howard is the #1 HBCU in my book, especially for what I was trying to pursue. So actually, before I even got to campus, I actually wanted to become an attorney. So I wanted to do the pre-law track, and they had an amazing program for that. But eventually, over time, I decided, I want to pursue my creative passions and my love for fashion design and just creativity in general. So then I chose their fine arts program, and I found out they also have one, if not the best, one of the best fine arts programs out of all the HBCUs. So it was just beautiful to be in a space that provides opportunities for every single interest I had. no matter what route I took. So it was great. And I'm also from Indiana. So for people who don't know, Indiana is very white. So I went to a high school that was predominantly white, and I wanted to change the scenery. So coming to Howard, not only did I see people just like Alafia said that are smart, quirky in their own ways and are interested in different things, but they look like me, and I have professors that look like me. And it was just so refreshing. But if not, the most important thing is it's not really about having a fancy campus or, flashy stuff. It's the people that made the university so attractive to me. All of the alum are so willing to help the current students out, giving money whenever. I literally have a church member at my local church who went to Howard, and he comes, every time he comes in town, he gives my brother and any other Indiana students money. And I'm like, Mr. Larry, you don't have to do that every time. But I love Mr. Dunlap. He is amazing. And that just shows the amount of pride that every single alum has for this school. And I can't wait to share that once I graduate.
Thank you, Kaylin. Next, we'll hear from Olivia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olivia Enda. I'm a junior elementary education major from Berkshire County, Massachusetts. And echoing my fellow ambassadors, Howard University truly is a place I call home now, a second home to Western Massachusetts. And if you know where that is, it is very non-representational of people like me who are aspiring to really embody what Black excellence looks like. And in simplest terms, that's what Howard does, not only for me, but as you can see, my fellow ambassadors and every student who really walks on campus. It really just was the first chance I was really allowed to see people who looked like me. That whole idea, again, of representation in the classroom as my fellow students and as the teachers. So I just really appreciate that space for all it has allowed me to do. And I knew from the moment I first stepped on campus that I was going to be able to thrive and really ensure that I was going to reach all my career goals.
Thank you, Olivia. Next, we'll hear from Caitlin.
Yes, hello, everybody. My name is Caitlin Robertson. I am a honors sophomore biology major, triple minor in mathematics, chemistry, and Spanish from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Like my fellow ambassadors said, I chose Howard because seeing other like-minded, African-American students was very refreshing. But also when I visited the campus, I just knew that Howard had all the elements that I needed to grow as much as possible for the 4 years that I would be in undergrad. So yeah, that's why I chose Howard.
Thank you. And Ocean?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ocean Latimer. I'm a sophomore honors marketing major, sports administration minor from Los Angeles, California. And why I chose Howard? I chose Howard really because I wanted to be a part of the network. I knew that it was a good environment for me to develop professionally, especially studying business. And I knew that it would be a small community where people would give me the time to make sure that I was completely developed, as well as also have that family aspect that I really wanted in my college experience.
Thank you. Naya?
Hi, everyone. My name is Naya Farrington. I'm a junior nursing major, political science minor from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I chose Howard for a lot of different reasons, but my number one priority was attending an HBCU. I'm from Chapel Hill, so like some of my other peers, it's a predominantly white town, so it's super important for me to get on the campus of an HBCU. I also knew I wanted to be in the medical field, and Howard being the only HBCU that has its own hospital on its campus, it leaves really only one option for me. So the choice was really narrowed down really easily, but beyond that, the familial aspect that you keep hearing about, it's really true. And I felt that every time I visited campus. So that really just solidified that this was the right place for me because it felt like home each time I visited, even before I was a student.
Brielle?
Hey everyone, my name is Brielle Smith. I'm a sophomore honors public relations major, business administration minor from Atlanta, Georgia. And I chose Howard because upon my transition from high school to college, I recognized how competitive it was to not only have a good degree, but also to get jobs and placements after that degree. And me being in the communications field, it's a field that is growingly competitive as well. So I knew that I needed to go to the best school that gave me professors that not only had experience in the fields that I was trying to go into, but also had advice and also had great job placement for after I graduated from the school.
Thank you. And lastly, Erin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Johnson. I am a freshman biology and mathematics double major from Atlanta, Georgia. And the reason I chose Howard University is one, because of the community that it cultivates. I knew I wanted to get out of Atlanta for one, but I also knew that I needed to be somewhere where I was still around people who look like me. And there was a great environment for me to learn. Biology is one of the top majors at Howard University. And so I needed to be somewhere where the university and the school and the professors and the students had like-mindedness with me, and they would pour in as many resources as they could.
Thank you for your introductions, everybody. Now we will get into the questions. I'll start with Alafia. So your first question will be, what are you involved in on campus that represents what you're passionate about?
Of course. So like I said, my major is Africana Studies, and I'm really, passionate in like politics in terms of the empowerment of Black people. So when I first got to Howard, I heard the motto was truth and service. So I was like, yo, I understand like Howard students are in service and always rooted in truth, right? So I'm like, yo, like when I get there, and in high school, I was always in organizations, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Howard students are organizations in high school, always leading the way. So when I get to Howard, I was like, yo, I got to make change too, you know what I'm saying? So when I first got there, I became a part of Howard University Democrats, the political organization. I became a part of the NAACP on campus. Then I was a freshman secretary for the COAS class. COAS is College of Arts and Science, which is like the science majors and things like that. I was also a part of HUSA. HUSA is the SGA of Howard. HUSA stands for Howard University Student Association. I was an intern under the vice president, so I was in the politics under that. I was also part of Kwame Ture Society. Kwame Ture, if you know who it is Stokely Carmichael. He went to Howard back in the day. And we come together to have great intellectual conversations about Afrocentric things and read a whole bunch of books and get like really empowered in the mind and things like that. I'm also a part of MMI, so Men in the Mecca Initiative. So Howard has a low population of men on campus. So I helped create an organization on campus called Men in the Mecca Initiative under the Office of the President to get the men together, have a safe space on campus and have events and just be loved as Black men on campus and empower each other. Also part of 10 for 10. Same thing, a men organization where we just go empower the homeless in the Howard community. So we just come together and feed the homeless, things like that. I'm also part of Kings for Christ and RUF, which is a University Fellowship Christian organization. And Howard does accommodate like anything that you like need in terms of like religion, like background, gender, like all that. Like Howard is really, really diverse in anything that you need like accommodated to. So it's just a really, really cool, diverse experience, specifically as an African-American person who thrive like for Black people. Howard has all that. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that you're involved in, Alafia. For our guest joining us, if you guys did not know, Brielle, our ambassador, is actually a transfer student. So Brielle, can you tell our guests why you chose specifically to transfer to Howard University and where you came from?
So I transferred to Howard University from Clark Atlanta University, which is a member of the AUC here in Atlanta, Georgia. Being from Atlanta, Georgia, let's rewind it. So I also went to boarding school in Tennessee for 4 years. So after high school, I felt like, okay, I want to come home. I want to be back in Atlanta. And I also felt like I want to take my career in public relations into the music and entertainment industry. And after really discovering what I wanted to do more, I realized that I wanted to work more along the field of government affairs, which told me, maybe it's time to transfer. Maybe it's time to get out of Atlanta and get into a new environment. And DC is not only the perfect city to come to learn to, but Howard University is also, like Kaylin said, the #1 HBCU in my book. So I knew that was the place for me to go to, because not only were they offering me so many opportunities that I could walk on the campus and just take hold of from my first day there, but it was also a place where everything fell in line and there was overwhelming opportunity for me to learn anything and everything that I needed to do to be successful, whether or not I took my public relations career towards government affairs or music in the entertainment industry.
Thank you for that, Brielle. Next, Kaylin. So Kaylin, I'm gonna tell the guests again something about you. You're a part of our Showtime marching band and other music programs. So what is it like to be a part of those programs, be a Howard student, and all of that?
Yes, so like Kennedy said, I am a part of 3 ensembles actually on Howard's campus. So of course, I'm a part of the Wind Symphony and the Howard University Orchestra, where in both of them, I play the oboe. And I've been playing the oboe since 6th grade, so over 9 years I've been playing that instrument. It's my primary one. But of course, I also play in the HU Showtime Marching Band, where I play the alto saxophone. And for those who are interested in the marching band, you do not have to have marching experience at all. I did not. I never even played saxophone either. Last year was my first time, but that's also the beautiful part about it, because they're really willing to teach you and work with you on new skills. And it's amazing because you gain a deeper appreciation for the art of music in itself. I love the band because we are a family. You gain so many new skills and just life lessons. Like, you gain a lot of discipline. And because of the rigorous schedule, you also have to teach yourself some time management skills. And as you gain those, then it really will help you in other aspects of life. You gain friendships with people who come from so many different backgrounds all over the country. We have students from every single state in the country that have participated in the band. And it's amazing because we're all together every single day, and the friendships are great. You also get a great perk, which is scholarship money. I have a twin brother who's also in the band and plays the trumpet. So my parents cannot afford to pay full time for 2 twins at Howard University. So we made sure to audition, and the more ensembles you are in, the more money you can get. So definitely look out for that opportunity if you can play a musical instrument. And my number one favorite part is the opportunities with traveling and performing in different places and events. Of course, the most recent and popular event was the 2021 inauguration parade, where we had our dancers, the Ooh La La, and the Flag Girls, as well as the drumline represent for the whole band, because not everyone could be there, unfortunately, because of COVID restrictions. But they escorted Vice President Kamala Harris, who's also an HU alum, and it was a beautiful experience because we were so, so proud. But my favorite personal experience when I was actually playing last year was the Howard versus Harvard game. So it was actually history because it was the first time an Ivy League has ever went against an HBCU in football. And it was so much fun. We went there, and the Black Harvard alum and students came to our tailgate and partied with us and cheered us on. And after our band performed at the halftime show, everybody in the stadium, all of the Howard people stood up and gave us a standing ovation. So it was really beautiful. Although we didn't win on the scoreboard, the culture won that day. So it's just an amazing experience. And we are the walking epitome of Howard culture.
Thank you, Kaylin. Next, I'll be speaking to Olivia. Olivia, can you tell us a little bit about what diversity looks like on campus? I know people might get like an illusion that we're not diverse because we're an HBCU, but can you explain that a little bit?
Of course. So contradicting like the whole social stigma, as you mentioned, like of HBCUs, Howard is really a prestigious platform in which the demographic and insight is just as culturally diverse as it is like intricate. So that really just kind of breaks down what it means, to be Black. And that kind of intersects into like Black, Indigenous, and just like a person of color in general. I was just really in a cultural shock, I would say, when I just really came onto campus and saw how diverse the Black diaspora could truly be. And it's well above the national average in terms of like geography and like basically who's like part of the community when it comes to like who's on Howard's campus. And as personal as an example as it can get, I'm personally a first generation American. My mom is from Ghana and my dad is from Cote d'Ivoire. So like having that background of being not only African American, but also being African in itself really highlighted what it means, again, to be part of this lot more diverse community than it seems to be on the outside. And just like in my math class, there's like students from Cameroon and Trinidad and Brazil and Palestine. And this is just as influential as like the students in my science courses who are from Philly and New York and Miami and Colorado. So it really is just an intersecting place. And that whole word of intersectionality is not only, again, just focused on what race, but rather your gender and your age, your sexual orientation, your ability, your religion. It really just highlights what it means to be part of the Mecca. So I just really appreciate being part of that community. And again, reminding ourselves like what it means to be an HBCU. And though this is an institution that often highlights the magnitude of Black excellence, it still provides a safe space and a promising learning environment for those who don't identify as Black or who may be white presenting, because they're a part of like the HU legacy as well. And they have a very impactful stance on our community as well.
Thank you, Olivia. Next, we'll hear from Caitlin. If you were in the presentation, Ms. McCants mentioned one of our great programs called the Karsh STEM Scholars Program. Caitlin, what opportunities have you been afforded being in that program, and what is it like?
Okay, so what it's like, I guess you could say it's like a movie. No, I'm kidding. But seriously though, what it's like, it's amazing. It's a great opportunity. It definitely pushes you. I will say that. But as far as opportunities, you do get tuition, room and board, and all your books are paid for. So that is, amazing. But that's not the only thing that we are awarded. We're also awarded, the experience of Summer Bridge. So you come into Howard University with 6 credits underneath your belt. You also, at the end of that Summer Bridge program, well, let me backtrack. During Summer Bridge, you get to, like I said, the 6 credits, but you also learn good study skills, how to, time management and different things like that. So that's also helpful, besides the 6 credits. But after Summer Bridge is over, we get to go to Germany and everything is paid for. Your food is paid for, your travel is paid for. You just have to show up. So that was really fun. And also, like, if you're in the program, regular study abroad for the fall and the spring semester is also fully funded. So that's cool. Study materials for grad school are paid for. Also visits for grad school, like if you want to visit different schools, that's paid for. And, the best part is the opportunity to have like a family that you can depend on, especially coming into college as a freshman. That was really comforting to have. And the academic and personal growth that the program has, not only to push you as a student, but as an individual also. So yes.
Thank you, Caitlin. And again, that program is called the Karsh STEM Scholars Program. Look into it, guys. It's a great program. I wish I would have went to Germany, but it's okay. Next, we'll hear from Ocean. So Ocean, since starting at Howard, what have you been involved in on campus that's helping you to prepare for your career?
So as far as organizations that I've joined, a lot of them have like impacted me in different ways, whether it was helping me with public speaking, putting me in leadership positions and kind of guiding me through just how to be a better business leader. So one of the organizations that I always attribute to my success mainly is the Student Ambassadors Program, because giving tours and talking to prospective students, one, it does teach you how to, it does teach you how to convince people, how to talk to people, as well as also public speaking, which is really important in the business world. Another program would be Management Leadership for Tomorrow, or MLT. I was in their Ascend program and I'm now in their Career Up program. That program basically, it helps place you in internships. It gives you a lot of feedback on resumes and cover letters. And at the end, they kind of keep you in a cohort. So like you start off as a freshman, then you can graduate with them as well. I then joined the Howard University Student Association Senate. Being in the Senate, the representative for the School of Business, it's really impactful for me because it has taught me a lot about leadership, also writing proposals or amendments, and just kind of the structure of how politics works. And really that really helped me increase my professionalism as well as experiences. I'm also a part of the Men of the Mecca initiative with Alafia, and that organization is really impactful for me because it really showed me that I want to do something in real time that can kind of go beyond my time on this earth, whether it's like bettering the Black community. And that's something that kind of Howard taught me as well. Like my first interest was to go to Howard and be a sports agent. And then it went from that to owning my own agency. It went from that to being like, okay, like I want to do something to impact so that there's more there are more Black leaders in the sports industry as a whole. And then as far as School of Business specific organizations, I'm a part of the American Marketing Association as well as the Entertainment Power Players, 2 organizations that really helped me develop marketing skills, as well as like help to guide me into internships and opportunities in entertainment, which are both focuses that I'm really interested in. And finally, joining the International Fraternity of Delta Sigma Pi. DSP has really impacted my life because it gave me a brotherhood of people that I look to as far as like people that have similar professional experiences and also differing experiences. And when we all come together, we really know how to impact the Howard community, whether that's working with Fortune 500 companies to throw events, or whether that's putting each other onto different internship opportunities, or even critiquing each other's resumes. It's a true brotherhood. And that's another organization that really did help me develop professionally at Howard.
Thank you, Ocean and Aaron. Like many of our guests, probably you came into Howard University as a virtual student. How has your experience been, and what has Howard done to help you get acclimated to our university?
Well, yeah, when they said that virtual hurt my heart, but it has not been a terrible experience whatsoever in the least. I believe that Howard University, the staff, the students have done everything they can to make sure that each Howard University student feels all in. As far as programs go, I have been lucky enough to be a part of the student ambassadors. I have been lucky enough to be an intern for Houston 60, as Alafia explained before. It's somewhat like the executive branch or SGA of Howard. As an intern in campus health, I've been lucky enough to be an intern for Houston Senate in the student advocacy department. And I believe that what I tell anyone is any experience is what you make it. And that does not negate with college. College is honestly what you make it. So the people that you interact with, the people that you go to, you all make the experience that you want. And I have been lucky enough to be in Atlanta, where we try once a month to meet up with each other just so we can get that Howard feel. So we just go to different places within the city and meet up and just talk, and for days. And that way you can connect with other people, mutuals on Twitter, friends on Instagram, people on Snapchat, iMessage. It's really, honestly, has been what the most you can make of a virtual experience.
Thank you. And because we are hoping that Aaron and the rest of us student ambassadors can come back to campus next semester, Naya, can you tell us what the freshman resident hall experience is like? What are the dining options on and off campus? And just everything you need to know about where you're going to live your first year.
So freshman life at Howard, in terms of where you live, it is going to be quite the experience. It's about a lot more than just, where you're going to sleep for the night or where you're going to stay for that semester, but we really pride ourselves in the opportunities and the community that you build within your residence halls. So as Ms. McCants stated in her presentation, we do have 4 main options for freshman students on campus. However, depending on the class size, the options can always change. We have the Harriet Tubman Quadrangle, more affectionately known as the Quad. It is the communal style of living for freshman ladies. And then we have College Hall North, which is a suite style of living. That's where I lived my freshman year. Everybody has a different experience. And then on the other side, we have Cook Hall, which is our freshman male dormitory, and then Drew Hall, which is the communal style for freshman male students. I was an RA in Quad, and I said that I relived my freshman days, my sophomore year, just because of the experiences that you will have in the Quad. If you talk to any alum, they'll tell you about the sisterhood in the dorm and the community spaces, for the simple fact that it's a communal dorm. So you're forced to get to know your floor mates and other residents in the building, because you have to go out to use the restroom or use the other facilities within the floor or within the residence halls. Beyond that, in all of our residence halls, our RAs do a lot to put on programs throughout the semester to make sure, as first year students, you're getting welcome to the campus and acclimated to who you're going to be around for the next 4 years or so. Additionally, every freshman dorm has a step, a stroll, and a dance team, and we compete in a big competition called Res Fest in the spring, again, simply for bragging rights, because you want to be able to say that you're from the best dorm on campus, and everybody is going to represent their dorm like they are the best dorm anyways. So those teams compete, or they practice all semester, and then they compete against each other in the fall. So it's a really good opportunity. Beyond that, there's so many more things. Don't want to talk about them all, but we have Mr. and Miss to represent our residence halls as well. So it's a lot of opportunities just within where you're living your freshman year, and you'll never forget those freshman year residence hall experiences. Beyond that, our eating or dining facilities on campus, we do have the Annex Caf, which is on 4th Street where most of our residence halls are located. So it's super convenient for you to go in the morning or maybe late at night if you're in the dorm and want to go to something more local, more close. And then on our yard, we have our lovely Blackburn, which is one of the most popping or popular places to dine on campus. We have what we call Soul Food Thursday. I never knew that people dressed up to go to the caf until I got to Howard, because people will put on their Sunday best to go to the caf for Soul Food Thursday. It's a fashion show walking through the caf, but it's also a great time to mingle with your friends who you might not have classes with because you guys have different majors. Beyond that, we have what we call Punch Out, which is another great opportunity. We have First Fridays, every first Friday of every month. It's kind of like a big family reunion cookout. Different organizations will host events and everybody will gather in those facilities where we have additional places for students to dine. And then throughout campus, we have what we call C-stores where students can get access to like convenience stores, which you would normally call them in probably your community. So there's various different options to eat. My personal favorite was Blackburn, but everybody has a different favorite on campus. We also have vegan and vegetarian options on campus as well. So your options are pretty endless. And then just to circle back to housing really quick, we do have gender neutral and gender inclusive housing on our campus. So Howard is really big on expressing or helping students understand their expression of gender identity. So they're doing their best and they're making a commitment to accommodate those students in our housing on campus. So there is a form where you can request those things when you're requesting your housing on campus. So that's something that has been an ongoing goal of Howard and they'll continue to do.
Thank you, Naya. And like I said before we started talking about the dorms, we are praying to go back to the District of Columbia. So since we're speaking it into existence, Alafia, can you tell us some of your favorite things to do in DC?
Yeah, of course. So, I'm from the South, from Texas. So I was like, when I went to DC, I was like, yo, I gotta really experience the East Coast and see what it's like. You know what I mean? I never really heard of it that much. So used to the South. So when I got to DC, man, like the museums, you know what I'm saying? The politics around, like it's always some type of lecture going on in DC or some type of big old event specifically centered around Black people or art. You know what I'm saying? Like our Blackness is really artistic as well. So you gotta understand, like when DC is named the Chocolate City, you're gonna have some really cool stuff going around DC. So I know me just being around DC, hanging out with friends was like hanging out with Busboys and Poets, even though it's a little restaurant with open mic lounge and things like that, hanging out New Vegan and things like that. Just like Black owned places around DC was like really my, home and feel like in comfort around DC. So like basically the museums and the museums are free too. Museums, just like everything, going and visit Capitol Hill, all the monuments is really. I went 2:00 in the morning. I hit my bros up, was like, hey, y'all trying to fade the Capitol right quick? Bet. We all fade the Capitol, you know what I'm saying? And then did that, you know what I'm saying? And just like went around DC. So it's a lot of stuff doing DC, pretty cool.
Thank you for that, Alafia. Next, we'll move to Brielle. Brielle is, of course, in our Kathy Hughes School of Communications. Can you tell us about being in their honors program?
Yes, joining the honors program is honestly one of the best decisions that I have made since joining Howard. The HU Annenberg Honors Program and the Kathy Hughes School of Communication is the only HBCU and one of 3 Annenberg Foundation endowed programs. And because I'm in the honors program, I get to have hands-on experience with so many things. We get to do a lot of community service, we get lecture series, but most importantly, we get thesis exposure, which is where as undergraduate students, we get the opportunity to write our own thesis by our senior year. And we actually get to take our theses to conferences where we get to present our ideas and our discoveries and our research. In addition, because this is an endowed program, we also get scholarships that help us matriculate through Howard and continue our studying and research.
Thank you, Brielle. Next, we'll go back to Kaylin. So, Kaylin, we know that being in DC is being in an urban environment. So, can you tell me what safety measures Howard has in place to protect its students?
Yes, so Kennedy mentioned that DC is an amazing city, and Howard is in the heart of it. So you have many opportunities to meet great people, but you also have opportunities where you don't want to meet certain people, and that's okay. So Howard provides many opportunities to enforce safety for all of their students. So first we have the Guardian app. The Guardian app is something you download onto your phone, and it helps first responders track your phone and locate you anywhere in the entire city, and also connect you with a call even if you don't have access to hit 911 directly. Then we also have the blue light system. So when you get on campus, if you have a chance to visit, you'll see many pillars on campus with blue lights at the top, and you hit a button on there and it'll flash and alert any campus police to come get you and escort you to a safe environment as soon as possible. We also encourage students to share their location with trustworthy and close friends and family so that they also can track them, as well as the buddy system. The buddy system is probably number one for everybody, especially after hours and late night. I remember opportunities where I've seen strangers and I was like, hey girl, do you need help to walk you back to your campus, back to your dorm? And they're like, absolutely. So, it's not personal. Don't be afraid to ask. And you'll actually be surprised about how many people will offer their help, because we want to make sure we are a family and that everybody's safe. And then finally, just another reminder, there's a lot of security and campus police cars on campus in almost every single corner and inside of all the dorms. So you have endless opportunities to get help whenever you need to.
Thank you, Kaylin. Next, we'll go back to Olivia. Olivia, what are your career goals, and what has our School of Education done to help you achieve these goals?
Okay, so again, I'm an elementary education major, and my career goals are quite lofty, but all centered around bringing equity to public school education specifically. I plan to first and foremost graduate and immediately pursue my master's and potentially my doctorates while I teach for a few years before going on to administrative roles. And somewhere along the line, kind of taking what I've learned and developed here in the States on an international platform, and specifically kind of, again, bringing equity to the Ghanaian community, again, public school education. But in terms of School of Education, the number one thing that they've really empowered me in knowing that I can achieve these goals is just, again, representation. I never had a teacher of color until I was here at Howard. So again, seeing people that look like me in the classroom really just brought that intrinsic motivation to know and again, pursue those dreams and career goals that I have for myself. And also through a variety of different platforms that were mentioned in the presentation, like Handshake and our career fairs and sources like that. A lot of internship opportunities have been able to come my way, and I've been able to really be prepared and saturated in what I need to do to be fully competitive and reassured in knowing that I can, again, achieve these goals. And that has opened up a network for myself and kind of building my brand as an educator and simply as a Howard student in general. Really just through my skills and the strategies and the tools. Again, just generally being able to know that I'm going to be successful in whatever I decide to do along my path.
Thank you, Olivia. Next, we'll move to Caitlin. So we get students from all over the world, all over the country. And Caitlin, you're from little old Louisiana, just like me. So can you tell everyone what the transition is like coming from down South Louisiana, moving to DC, and were there any organizations that help you in this transition?
Yes, okay. First of all, Louisiana is the best place on earth. Had to throw that in there. But besides that, definitely one drastic change was going from hot to cold. It's always hot in Louisiana. Well, let me not say always, but 99.999% of the time it's going to be hot. And DC is very cold, and the wind coming around the buildings is just not pleasant. So yeah, that was a major change. The food was a lot different because we love to eat down here in Louisiana. The people were a lot different. The music was different. Just everything, it was just like, wow, what am I doing here? But one thing that was very comforting whenever I got to DC and Howard and that settled me in was joining the Louisiana Club. So I had to get like a little taste of home away from home. They had people who had Tony's, which is a Louisiana seasoning. They had all kinds of things that reminded me of home. and I could bond with people who were from, my city or my state, who could understand my journey coming to Howard from the South. So I would definitely recommend joining your state club. That definitely helps a lot. Also, I joined an organization or club. Well, basically, I was hired as a student athletic trainer for the athletics department at Howard. And that's something that I did back in high school. So having that transition from high school to college and other people who also did in high school, we were all able to bond over that. So yes, those are my things that helped me transition to Howard. And yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin. Next, we'll move back to Ocean. So Ocean, we know that you came to Howard homecoming your senior year of high school, actually. So how did that impact your decision to ultimately be admitted and come to Howard?
Well, so I came from a predominantly white institution that was like an all boys Catholic school in LA. And there wasn't really a HBCU presence on campus, on like our high school campus. So my dad took me to homecoming my senior year of high school, and he always told me he was going to take me homecoming, but he never got around to it. When he took me, I went to DC for the first time, and DC itself was kind of different because it was kind of small. And then I went to campus, and then when I got on campus, I was just completely blown away because it was just a different type of energy. I looked to my right, and we have Yard Fest, which is like this huge concert. And I think it was Lil Baby and Gunna that were performing that year. And then I see the students, they're having so much fun. I was able to meet a lot of them, and they like accepted me like I was one of their own. And it was crazy because like you could really see that bond and family network that they really had, and that they were all close to each other. Then like you look to your left, and then you see all these industry professionals that kind of go from all different types of industries, whether it's law, medicine, entertainment, and really talking to them also inspired me to go to Howard because they kept telling me that through like career services, Handshake, and all those other platforms that they have, especially being a school of business, you would be guaranteed internships and jobs, and everyone wanted Howard students. So kind of being in the HBCU culture kind of really impacted my decision and really inspired me to pick Howard as the school that I wanted to go to.
Thank you for that, Ocean. And I know all of us panelists, all of our alumni in the comments have been reminiscing about our higher experience, but it's time to bring it back in. So Naya, can you tell us what it has been like being a nursing major during this pandemic that we're going through?
Yes, so right now I am actually still in my clinical rotation. So unlike some of my other Howard peers here who are still taking their virtual classes, I have in-person clinical rotation right now. And I think that was really a smart decision for Howard to make because it's really taught me the importance and the meaning behind being an essential worker. As somebody who's about to have a career in that field, seeing the stuff from home. When the pandemic first started, I didn't really understand like that this was the career field I was going to until our professors told us that we were required to come back to do our rotation in person. And it's really put a lot of meaning behind what those words mean and the importance of being a great nurse during a lot of these trying times. And beyond that, being able to do my clinical rotations at Howard Hospital, I've been able to see the impact that this pandemic has had on people of color, specifically in the DC community. And beyond that, what Howard has been doing to help with this pandemic and how it's specifically attacking our people of color. So we've been able to have a hands-on approach with the vaccine and even being able to administer it to being able to receive the vaccine itself. So this has been a really great opportunity in showing me kind of the realisticness behind being a nurse and getting that hands-on experience again. And beyond that, I'm able to have my peers by my side during this whole process in a socially distanced and protective way. But it has, again, just showed me that despite the pandemic, this is the reality of our situation. Being a nurse, rain, sleep, snow, pandemic, you're required to be here. So it's been a really great journey so far.
Thank you, Naya, and thank you for being an essential worker. We need all of you. Next, we'll move to Erin. So Erin, I know me personally as a junior, my professors and my advisors are super important to like my success as a student. So as a freshman and as a virtual student, how has your experience been in terms of support and academic?
One thing about it, two things for sure, three things for certain. If Howard University teaches you nothing else, it will teach you how to advocate for yourself. As in terms of academic advising, I come from a lineage of teachers in my family, so I was taught to make a plan. So even before I jumped on campus, I knew that I wanted to double major. So I sat down and matched together all these schemes to say, hey, we about to graduate in 4 years, let's get it on popping. And when I got to Howard, the welcoming experience I got from my academic advisors, one from biology, one from mathematics, and just one from the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, I think that that was a well experience. They sat down with me for 40 minutes as I asked questions, made sure that, hey, anatomy is only available in the fall. Am I guaranteed to get in there? Like just those types of questions. As it comes to teachers, I have yet to touch a teacher who has not been willing to sit down with you in office hours, who has not been willing to talk with you a little bit after class to make sure that you really understand materials. Now there are teachers who will go there, but I've yet to get one. I've yet to get one, and I'm so very grateful and thankful for that. But I think that the academic support team, and I think that the teachers that I have encountered within the biology and the mathematics department have been nothing but wonderful.
Thank you, Erin. So for our last round of questions, we're gonna go back up to Alafia, and then I just want to say for everybody in the chat, start leaving your questions for Q&A in the chat. This will be our last round of like my prepared panelist questions. So Alafia, to you, what makes the illustrious Howard University special?
That's a great question. So I'll say three things that makes Howard University special. First is the diversity. I know Olivia really touched on that, right? So like before I got to like college, there's like this preconceived notion that HBCUs aren't diverse because there's no white people there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, is it really true just because white people there is there's true diversity? And it's like, nah, bro. At an HBCU, like true diversity is, you know, different religion, different gender, different sexes, you know what I mean, different races and different backgrounds, right? And HBCUs and Black people are not a monolithic people. You know what I'm saying? Our people are really diverse, and our African culture is really different in many aspects. You know what I'm saying? So we are a real diverse school. You know what I'm saying? So like once I went to Howard, I was like, yo, this is really diverse. You know what I'm saying? So the diversity, and then second, the Afrocentric curriculum. Like when I was in high school, I had so I personally went to all Black high school, right? All Black high school. I had like one white person in my class, and I had white teachers and learned white history my whole high school career, even middle school and elementary school. But at Howard, they decolonized my mind and was like, yo, we gonna get you right. You know what I'm saying? We gonna teach you Black history and love yourself truly. You know what I'm saying? And that's specifically at an HBCU like Howard University, it was really Afrocentric. I only had like one class that talked about white people. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of them were all Black centered. I was like, yo, this is real education. This is real love. And then this led me to like know what true freedom is. True freedom in the educational space, true freedom in the population of Black people on campus. Like just to be free as a Black male was so loving. You know what I'm saying? So at Howard University, it really expounds upon that a lot about just being an Afrocentric person and being free in yourself and not have to worry about other people around you trying to get on you about your Blackness, but everybody moving in the same direction. You know what I'm saying? And third is the opportunities. Living in the capital of America, you know what I'm saying, DC, and like the political connections and the people like you know who are really in politics, and Howard being the Mecca in out of all HBCUs, like our opportunities, internships, you know what I'm saying? Like we get everything low key. Like I already got some internships lined up for this summer just for being a Howard student, you know what I'm saying? A Black Howard student who knows all this knowledge because I went to Howard, you know what I'm saying? Like opportunity, you will get opportunities if you go to Howard, you know what I'm saying? Internships, jobs, fellowships, stipends, all that. You're gonna be set, you know what I'm saying? So just know that Howard gonna set you up for sure.
Thank you, Alafia. Next, we'll go to Brielle. Brielle, what is the Patricia Roberts Harris Public Affairs Fellowship, and what do you gain from this opportunity?
Yes, the Patricia Roberts Harris Public Affairs Fellowship is in the name. It's a public affairs opportunity for students who really want to live out Howard's motto, which is in truth and service. It is named after Howard alum, class of 1945, Patricia Roberts Harris, and she was truly a public affairs pioneer. She was the first African American woman to hold an appointment as a U.S. ambassador. And this program has 3 programmatic components, which includes a mentorship, an internship, and professional development workshops. So within your mentorship, you're assigned a mentor who also has the same, so public affairs is an interdisciplinary field. So for me, I'm in communications and I want to take communications into public affairs. So I get a mentor that does communications aspects of public affairs. Then I also get an internship where I get to take the things that I learned through the professional development workshops and through my mentorship, and I get to apply those in real life with the internship. And this summer, thanks to the Patricia Roberts Harris Public Affairs Fellowship Program, I'll actually be interning with U.S. Ambassador Bonnie Jenkins for her project, Women of Color Advancing Peace and Security.
Thank you, Brielle, and congratulations on that opportunity. Next, we'll go to Kaylin. Kaylin, you're a fine arts student. What has your experience been like in the program, and what is it like to study in your major?
Yes, so I love being a part of Howard's Fine Arts program. Howard has, like I said before, the #1 fine arts program out of all the HBCUs, especially in my opinion. But just look at the talented alumni who graduated from there. You have the legendary Debbie Allen, Donny Hathaway, the late Chadwick Boseman, and many, many more, which really shows the example of what it means to come from there. Then we have 3 separate departments, which is music, theater and dance, and the art department, which is my home. And you just have to audition and fill out applications and a portfolio in order to get accepted and start your classes. So I love the fashion department. Once again, I'm a fashion design major because compared to the other colleges on campus, we are probably a lot more smaller with class sizes. And I love it because we're able to have more intimate conversations with our professors, and they truly love and care for us and want to make sure that we are successful. If I even need to vent about something, my professors are willing to hear me out and just give me some wonderful advice. And we're also plugged with great, great opportunities. One of my favorites is my freshman year, we took a trip to New York City, which is a perk because DC is very close there. It's only a 4-hour bus drive. So it's cheap and affordable. And we were able to tour the city and get a personal invite to meet high fashion designer Carlos Campos. And we were invited inside of his studio to touch his pieces that were fresh off the runway and get a lot of advice from him and even network. We also recently just got invited to speak with Virgil Abloh, which is, if nobody knows Virgil, he is the creator and designer of Off-White, and he's also the artistic director of Louis Vuitton Men's. And then even tonight, I'm very excited because we just got invited to do a virtual meet and greet with rapper Pooh Shiesty, and we're gonna be able to network for any styling opportunities with him or any other Atlantic Records artists. So it's really great and I love it.
Thank you, Kaylin. And Olivia, can you tell us what is one of your favorite memories from being a Howard student?
Wow, being a Howard student, every day you're making a memory. Just in short, really just thinking about that question, it really is nostalgic, now being virtual, but having that at least my first 2 years on campus, very, very memorable. But I would say in terms of kind of like a key benefactor memory that kind of made me feel like the first time I was truly, truly a Howard student was in my freshman week in the DC Night tour. I don't know if any of my fellow ambassadors also had the opportunity to participate, but essentially it's just an opportunity for freshmen specifically, but really anyone who's on campus during those introductory weeks to really explore the city. And it was my first time like kind of having like my roommates, some people and friends that I've met during like orientation or just like at other events throughout the week, kind of like to get together and kind of see each other outside of the Howard campus for the first time. And it was just, again, a chance to explore DC. So like really be aware of what's around you, kind of go downtown, see the national monuments, use the metro system, figure out how to add money to your metro card. And me being a girl from the mountains in Western Massachusetts, didn't really ever have to do too much of that. So that was really fun. And I just ended up making friends and really long lasting memories that I'm still cherishing to my heart to this day. But kind of really want to do emphasize, like, again, as a Howard student, you're constantly making memories, even on this virtual platform. As Aaron had even mentioned, like, you know, your state clubs, being at home, even like intermingling with people that are around you in whatever your environment, you'll always find a Bison somewhere. So I definitely feel like I'm going to note the DC Night tour as one of my most cherishable memories.
Okay, and I'm going to throw the question next to Naya so that we can kind of wrap up and have some time for our Q&A. Naya, I just want you to give any incoming students, any prospective students, any advice that you have for them.
Just really fast, I would say take every day as a day to make memories. As Olivia was just talking about, I'm always reminiscing about my days in person on campus because it was always a good time. Be prepared to be humbled. A lot of people in this atmosphere are people that come from schools where they are the top students as well. So you're going to be in a competitive space. So be prepared to receive a few no's. I think that's something that I really learned my first semester at Howard. Be prepared to take that no and be able to build from that. Live up to the motto of in truth and service. You'll find that that's something that all Howard students do on campus. And then lastly, find your passion, find your people, and start doing the work that you want to do in the future.
Thank you, Naya, and thank you to all of our panelists. This was so fun. Now we're going to move on to the Q&A section. So in our live chat, you can ask any questions that you want, anything specifically to any of our panelists or Ms. McCants, and we will try to answer as many as we can. And I want to start with one that we got earlier for Ms. McCants. And it says, as an early action student, if you aren't offered admission in December, can you apply again for regular decision?
Unfortunately, no. We only allow students to apply for a term once. So if you apply by the November 1st deadline and we do not offer you admission, you are not allowed to apply again by the second deadline of February 15th. But what you can do is apply as a transfer student for the next fall. All of the information relevant to transfer admission can be found on the admissions webpage. We have 2 documents there that are very, very helpful to students applying for the first time or applying as a transfer applicant. So our freshman application guide and our transfer application guide are invaluable resources for students that are starting that process with us.
Thank you, Ms. McCants. And while we're answering questions, I'm going to shout out some of our people in the comments. So Alafia, Brianna W. wants to know more about your leadership experience.
Yeah, I was actually answering it, like specifically in high school. So I started my own BSU on campus at my high school, which was like really, you know, big on the application. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who was in like truth and service, right? And like I said, how it looks for somebody who's like truth and service, that's our motto. So I started my own BSU, did community service in my church and in the community. What else? I had an internship as well at a law firm. So like that was really big as well in terms of leadership and just like leading things in the office and things like that. But like the main thing was like putting on a lot of like events. I know on my resume with the BSU, like made a lot of change on campus with the BSU, really stood out as well. So I was like really emphasizing on the change I made with the BSU on my campus. So yeah.
Thank you, Alafia. Next, I'm going to look at Ms. M. Lyons, and this is for Naya. So what was it like applying to the nursing program? Is it a normal application or is it a separate process?
So when you apply as a senior in high school, it is the normal application process of applying to the university. You do have a supplemental essay to submit to the College of Nursing and Allied Health. At least that's the way it was when I applied. Beyond that, the first 2 years are called lower division nursing courses. I'm sorry. So you take all of your prerequisite classes, so like biology, anatomy and physiology, a math class, and some other classes to prepare you for your clinical classes. You are required to complete an additional application to be admitted to the upper division nursing program. You're required to have a 3.0 GPA within your science courses specifically, and you're required to maintain good academic standing with the institution. So beyond that, once you submit your application, again, it's another process of submitting an essay, and then you also have an interview process for the upper division program as well. And that is completed your sophomore year. So then your junior and senior year, you're admitted to the upper division nursing program, and that's when you complete your clinical hours. And it is a rigorous program, just like all of the other programs at Howard, but it is a great opportunity.
Thank you, Naya and Ocean. Hillary Sims wants to know, what is the dress code like for School of Business? Do the girls only have to wear pantsuits, or what are y'all required to wear?
So yeah, girls can wear pantsuits. They could also wear skirts. Really, the good thing about SOB in general is they'll teach you like beforehand during freshman week what the different dress codes mean, like the difference between business professional, business conservative, smart casual, as well as like business casual. And they really do a good job like within that first week to really kind of ground you and teach you like how to dress so that you don't look crazy when you're talking to recruiters, or even crazy when you're going into interviews, no matter what company it is.
Thank you, Ocean. And we're going to go back to Ms. McCants with Fake Green wanting to know if you received any letters of recommendation after you applied. How would you submit that to your application?
So we do have a very strict policy about the documents that are submitted as a part of your application. As I mentioned in my presentation, we require 2 letters of recommendation through Common App, one from a teacher and one from a counselor. But you have the option of submitting 1 additional recommendation. So that also should be done through Common App. The maximum number of letters of recommendation for any applicant is 3. And so please ensure that you have contacted your recommender and let them know that we do have a deadline. So we have to get those letters of recommendation for the November 1st applicants by November 15th. And for those that apply by February 15th, we have to have those letters and other documents by March 15th.
Thank you. And Brielle, this question is probably best fit for you. DVA Entertainment wants to know, how do you balance honors program, fellowships, schools, and anything else that you have going on?
So my best bet for time management is always keeping a planner on me. This is also advice that a lot of students use, whether or not you use it on your phone or you use it on paper. I prefer on paper, but always make sure that you're keeping track of everything that you have to do day by day, hour by hour. And honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like I have so much time left over for Netflix and for hanging out with family. So keep a planner on you. Make sure that you write down everything in your assignments and space it out, and you'll be set.
Thank you. And Stephanie Juarez wants to know, and I'll let Caitlin answer, what was it like to study abroad? Are there programs for studying abroad? And then has anybody studied abroad? So Caitlin.
Okay, yeah. So I did study abroad, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit in Berlin, Germany. It definitely was an experience that I'll never forget, simply just like seeing the culture there and how it differs from here in the United States, and also learning how their medical system is set up over in Berlin versus how it's set up over here. It really teaches you to appreciate the things that we have here, and also appreciate the things that they have in other countries also. Let's see, what was the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
How would you go about studying abroad?
Okay, so as far as like the process of studying abroad, we have a center that's specifically for that. The Ralph Bunche Center, I think it's called. Yes. And so you go there, you can get more information. They're really, really helpful. Even now that they're virtual, they will still send you information about that. And you can, get more information there at that center. So yes.
I'd like to also add that we have several scholarships for students that study abroad. So it is possible to spend a semester in another country and have that experience funded. And we have multiple location study abroad opportunities too. So I've had a student leave us in January, and by the time that she returned in May, she had earned 15 credits and spent time in 3 different countries.
Thank you. And I'm going to go back to Ms. McCants. We have an international student joining us. Her name is Haley Barnes, and she wants to know how would it work being an international student? Would her grades be calculated differently, or what's the process?
Yeah, so again, please use our freshman application guide during the process for admission, because all of the details that you need to be aware of are going to be in that document, and it's available on our website on the admissions page. All international student documents must be evaluated by an outside agency. We generally recommend WES, the World Education Service, but there are other agencies that conduct these evaluations, and the specific details are in our freshman application guide.
Thank you, Ms. McCants. And I'm going to pass it to Kaylin. Let's see. Blake Michael Laurie wants to know, what was the audition process like being a fine arts student?
Yes, so I can speak for the music major specifically. So for entering the Showtime Marching Band, you have to get in contact directly with Director Kelvin Washington, and I can always plug in the email at the end, because you can always audition anytime in the semester. He always is willing to have new bandsmen and members. My brother and I did it the summer before entering first semester, fall semester, and we did it virtually. So he just emailed us, gave us the requirements, and said, make sure you make a video of you playing these amount of scales and an etude or any other musical pieces, and then you submit them, and then he tells you if you got into the program or not, and also if you got funded money. Now, if you're talking specifically about education, such as a major, I have many music majors who basically they go in, audition, and you get put in to whatever courses that they recommend for you, especially at your ability level. And then for theater and dance students, they also send in an audition video. Usually the theater students do they do an acting piece, and then the dance students do a dancing piece. And then for art, I did the fashion design program, where I